What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin Bees. I'm a wife, a mom, a military veteran, a certified personal trainer, and I spent 13 and a half years in multi-level marketing, healed my way out, and now I'm using all of my social media platforms to educate and raise awareness around the dangers of multi-level marketing companies and the tactics used by their reps. Let's talk about Melaleuca, the wellness company that's definitely an MLM, in my opinion. No matter how many times they try to rebrand it as referral marketing or a consumer direct model, because when you strip away the buzzwords, the bonuses, and the yoga buddy success stories, you're left with a very familiar structure. You buy products every month, you get paid when other people buy products every month, and you make more money when those people recruit even more people to buy even more products every single month. I'm not here to sugarcoat it. I believe Melaleuca operates like a multi-level marketing company, and today I'm breaking down one of their top earners, walking us through how he made over $5 million through this system and why the comp plan is designed to reward recruitment and team volume way more than simple customer sales. This is about way more than shampoo and supplement points. Let's watch it together.
Welcome to this compensation plan training. My name is Seville Coe. I'm Corporate Director 3 here at Melaleuca.com, and I'm going to be sharing some of our results, some of our success stories, and our strategy. But more importantly, I want to start with our income disclosure. And this is just a great scope to see what's possible. Definitely, I want you to listen to this from that vantage point. And you can see a full income disclosure at
Okay, so you want them to listen to this with the income disclosure statement in mind, which I love that he's actually addressing this here. It would be interesting to see the percentage of people that have hit these ranks, considering Melaleuca has been around for quite a long time. I bet there's not many people that have hit those top ranks. I think that would be important, but no. They're just going to go with the average income. Let's see the median income. Let's see the percentage of people that have made this type of income. Let's see what's under Director 3. Is there anything under Director 3? I don't know. Let's find out.
Melaleuca.com. We are corporate directors, but we're going to be focusing the game plan more around the senior director level and then also even up to the executive director level. So let's kind of jump right in. So this referral program here at the Wellness Store since 1985 has produced over $7.3 billion in referral commissions to families like all of ours over the last now 40 plus years in business.
40 years? 7.3 billion? That doesn't seem like a lot for 40 years. I don't know. Maybe let's not trust my math. Let's keep it moving.
So for those of you that decide you want to go, make a little bit, that's possible. But for those of you that are really looking at this from a serious standpoint in business, like I was, that's what I want you to know, that wow, it's been paying for 40 plus years, and there's more ahead for all of us. So here's a little bit of our background. My wife and I, Rachel, and our now 4 kids, expecting baby number 5 coming soon. We got 4 at 7 under. We're down here in Naples, Florida, and just had the honor of just being mentored by the GOAT, the greatest in the company, Mr. Jeff Miller and his wife Maureen, the only presidential directors in the company. And although he passed away this last year, his family's still receiving their asset. They've been in one company for over 20 plus years, and now over 35 million.
This company is so wild to me because they're the only ones that I have seen that will lead with income when you're in these top ranks. They put out a magazine every single month that has these wild stories of, success. I have never seen another company do this. That is not a compliment, Melaleuca. That is a how many people are making this kind of income in this company kind of thing.
Dollars in personal commissions. So really honored there. And it's been incredible. Got to spend time with Frank Vandersloot, his wife Belinda, Jerry Felton, our CEO, all the way around the world. And I want to share some of our success stories we've been able to do before we kind of jump right into it. So here's our actual recent results. I had to kind of start there. I'm a numbers guy. So we get paid monthly, just so you know.
Nobody
So
can
whatever you
read
do
this.
in the month, we get paid on the 12th of the month. Everything is
Nobody can read this. How many people on your team are making this income? Let's just keep it going.
audited, so there's no games and everything. So our paycheck this last month, you can see, was $67,614.16 in commission. So pretty awesome. There's many different ways we get paid, as we'll be kind of covering that today. But I want you to pay attention to the repeat income. That's what really grabbed my attention, because I've always been self-employed for the past 20 plus years, coming from a sports and fitness background, being self-employed in the fitness industry, tried different online businesses. So I've known I've had to produce a retirement plan for me and my family. So I'm most proud of that number, over $51,000 a month. It's our biggest our income has ever been on a residual income standpoint right there. There's some monthly bonuses, as in car bonuses. We're at the $1,500 level. They even have monthly leadership bonuses, as we'll talk about as well, at $6,000 a month. That could be up to $12,000 a month as well. But when you take a look at it over here, our data, we've been here for now 6.5 years. I've introduced 180 customers, okay, 180 shoppers, 180 of my friends, switch stores, swap where they shop, okay, go non-toxic, improve their health, shop smarter, 180 friends. I've had 22 of them that had decided to lock arms with us, partner up with us in business, and they became what we call a director. A director refers 8 customers or more to the store, okay? So from those 22 customers, of course, I have a system for success. Everything is working online behind the scenes as we have a Zoom platform for support. We utilize calls Monday through Fridays, and people can plug in part-time from around the world, get support and training, mindset, tactical skill set training. We have overviews live 2 times a week. We even have several apps that we use that you can share information at the click of a button. So we have the system that is creating the success now at this point, 6.5 years later. So from those 22, we've been able to grow that number to have about 500 people building the business right now collectively in my organization. And that's the most awesome part, because out of 495, almost 500 people building the business, we've helped just a little bit over 80 plus that's earned 6 figures. We've had over 25 that's made multiple 6 figures. We've had 5 of us that's been able to earn over $1 million from the referral program, as I'll be sharing you some of their stories here today. So pretty awesome. More importantly, we have a 94.7% retention rate, which is the peace of mind that I needed to see. If I was going to build it again, I had to know the money was going to bounce back, and that comes from real customers buying real products because they really want and need them. So this is a couple of our friends that's been able to really change their lives as well. Jenna.
Okay, a lot to unpack there. So he flexes that they've helped 80 people make 6 figures and that 5 people in their organization have become millionaires. Not bad for just helping people switch stores, right? But let's keep it real. This is the highlight reel. It's not the norm. And while he mentions that there's an income disclosure, he doesn't show all of the details on the income disclosure statement. We don't get to see what the average rep makes. Red flag number one. So keep that in mind as we're going through all of this.
Jesse and Kayla is your picture over here. So I enrolled my friend Jesse. She was a single mom, nurse, was in school for a nurse practitioner's license. First 18 months, 22,000, nothing exciting, but we're working along, plugging along. And year number 2, she caught fire, and today she's at $1.3 million in referral commissions. And yeah, what would happen? It was about 2.5 years ago today. She brought on her friend Jenna in her local town, and she was with the party plan company, young mom, active, fit, as you can see, but was in a direct selling operation that just wasn't going so well. They locked arms, and now Jenna's just knocking on the door of $800,000 earned. And her running mate, Kayla, you can see over here, also up in Canada, young mom, IVF mom, over $539,000 earned.
IVF mom? Why is that even mentioned in this? I find that so odd. Why would this guy, who's probably their upline, mentioning that she's an IVF mom?
In just 2.5 years. And these girls, none 3 of them, they've
These girls? Are they grown women? What do you mean? Oh, yikes.
never made 6 figures before in a year. And definitely, it's been incredible what they've been able to create up in Canada, their movement as well. So here's our friends Rachel and Clarence. They are in Australia. They live in Mexico. And then also Clarence is from the States. So they've been partnered up with us for now 8 months, over 114,000. And we met in my first company that I was a part of, but she was a real rock star over there, had a lot of success for about a decade until things started to change, and it became, much different for their family. So glad we got connected this last summer with a lot of change going on in the marketplace. And they're in Australia right now, building their organization and creating a huge community out over there.
Can you imagine if instead of showing the highlight reel, if he showed what the average distributor in this company makes? What most people make. Hey, this is so and so, and they're ordering their 75 point or whatever it is monthly order, and they're hoping that one day they're going to end up not having to pay anything and having a downline that they can fund their lifestyle. Can you imagine if they actually showed that stuff? That'd be wild.
So here's my friend Kaylin. We were in our first company together, both were personal trainers back in our previous lives, and followed up with her for almost 5 years across multiple platforms.
Oh, okay. So you tried to recruit her for 5 years and she finally said, okay, cool.
And just, she was in a different direction, and just so proud in 3 years' time, just passed over $400,000 in personal earnings. Here's her husband Murphy and their girls. He's a lawyer, and to be able to create her team success as well. She's just kind of getting her party started. So here's our friends Leah, Katie, and Tanya. So some of our very first that believed in us 6.5 years ago. My friend Tanya come from a healthcare background here, right in the middle. Public health background, corporate America, tried different network marketing businesses, never found major success.
Are these numbers what they have made in 6.5 years? Now, I haven't talked about this in a while, but think about as you're seeing these numbers, and if these numbers do reflect what they have made in 6.5 years, think about the amount of time that they have spent on social media, doing in-person meetups if they do that, trying to get customers, trying to get people to, shop differently or whatever their catchphrase term is. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. And most of that is activity they're not going to get paid for unless they sign somebody up. So I'm just looking at these numbers and I'm like, 6.5 years. That's not a whole lot of money considering the amount of time and energy that they have spent to make that. And I would love to see the breakdown on the amount of money that they're making from distributors to the commission that they're making off of having customers. If I remember correctly, he said they made 66,000 in a month and 51,000 of that was residual. That makes me wonder, was the 51,000 from having a team and those types of bonuses, which would mean what, 15,000 of that came from customer sales? That's some interesting statistics, don't you think? Numbers, not statistics, numbers. Interesting.
Leah and her husband Sam and their boys, they were able to take this opportunity. These are our $1 million earners now, and take this opportunity to really change their life and travel around the country. They got to live their RV lifestyle, as that was their.
Yeah, it says at the very top, SNL Enterprises LLC, your cumulative earnings with Melaleuca. So this is what they made over 6.5 years. Wow. That's not a compliment, Melaleuca, by the way.
Dream during COVID, and they're up in the Pacific Northwest now. And Katie, super busy hockey mom, former college athlete as well, and police officer. And she's absolutely, as you can see, at 9:53, going to be one of our next $1 million leaders that we're so awesome, so proud of, just in 6 years' time. So my friend Nick, personal trainer. Connected online, and definitely was almost like looking at myself in a past life. Personal trainer, gym owner.
If your gym owner is trying to sell you MLM products, you should cancel your membership and join a new gym. In my opinion. I mean, do what you want, but that's just my opinion.
That's just been incredible. So let's dive into different ways that we get paid. So there's like 6 different ways that we get paid. I won't cover all the details, but you can earn up to 50% commissions on your personal customers' orders during the first 3 months. You can earn commissions when it comes to the referrals that your customers make, up to 7%, to 7 levels of referrals there as well. So that becomes pretty powerful. So you can see as that's worked out for us. There's different advancement bonuses, mentoring bonuses, cab bonuses. Those are our monthly bonuses, but you can see all that in our full compensation plan details. So let's get into the nuts and bolts, shall we?
Okay, just jumping right over that. Not going to cover the details. Okay, cool. That's sarcasm, by the way. They say it's a referral model, but the structure looked very MLM like to me. I don't know. What do you guys think? You earn up to 50% commissions on new customers for the first 3 months. You get commissions on your team's customers for up to 7 levels deep. There's car bonuses, leadership, mentoring bonuses, matching bonuses when your team hits ranks. And if your recruits recruit more people, you get a cut of that too. That doesn't really sound to me like a referral program. That sounds like a classic MLM override system dressed in greenwashing and loyalty points.
So this is really how it all works. So senior director, $66,000 a year, $500 monthly car bonus. That's incredible. So here, as I've worked with a lot of people, if you want to be in that $5,000, $10,000 a month range, most people are going to fall into the senior director bucket. So we'll focus on that. So the first step is director. So 8 customers is a director? What is a customer? What is a shopper? That's a preferred member that agrees to shop for 35 product points. That's about 5 to 10 products. And that's about 75, 80 bucks US of swapping where they shop, whatever it is that they use. 8 customers, they could just be customers. Now you're a director. All the way to 20 customers. Now, 20 customers maxes out the compensation plan. 20 customers is the max you need to go all the way to the top. You could be a corporate director with 20 customers, okay? Now, 20 and 5. 5 of the 20 refer 8 customers. 5 of them become a personal director, okay? Now, your volume, your overall consumer base is about 20,000 what we call product points. Because we're in 19 countries, they convert the dollars to points, and that's how we calculate that part there. So 20 and 5, okay? Now, the company, there's no fees to do the business. So if you achieve senior director in 1 year's time that you enroll, they're going to double your bonuses to 14,100. That's going to be part of that $65,000 I kind of talked about in that example. So I did it fast. I achieved senior director in 6 weeks, so they'll pay it in 6 weeks if you do it fast. If it takes you longer, then they'll do it in that frame. So let's say I introduce my friend Sarah, and me and Sarah go senior director together. We both make that 66,000. We do it in 36 months. 20 customers. What we've kind of found is about 50 shoppers, because the law of averages is about 10%. So we both find our 50 shoppers. We find our 5 or 6 leaders. We both achieve senior director together in that 6-month, 3-month time frame. Out of that 60,000 plus, 14,000 of it is this pacesetter bonus money. So I pick up my 14,000. My friend picks up their 14,000. Now, because I introduced them to Melaleuca, Melaleuca is going to pay me, the enroller, an additional $14,000 bonus in income. So my paycheck just probably grew to about 75, 80,000 in the same timeline.
Okay, so let's just clarify this real quick. So you only need 20 customers. That's the max required, according to him, to earn all the way to the top. Here's the catch. Those 20 customers, you're heavily nudging them to also start recruiting. And when 5 of them do, that's when the real cash starts rolling in. This doesn't seem to be about finding customers who just want vitamins. It seems like it's about converting customers into recruiters, which, in my opinion, is classic MLM funnel behavior.
Now she introduces Lindsay, and Lindsay goes senior director. 36 months after that, she makes her 66,000, picks up her 14K bonus. Sarah gets a $14,000 bonus. How much do I get? Well, I get half. I get about 6,900. So if you kind of stop right there and let it all sink in, this is when I got excited about the compensation plan, because I had experience before in business. So I always teach, compensation plans drive behavior. So what do they want us to do? Well, of course, customer acquisition, right? That's why Melaleuca has been such a thoroughbred for 40 plus years, right? Because it's real customers, and that's awesome. But where's all the big money at if you want to go, full time, give yourself some full time options? Well, they pay big money for leadership. So they want you to find great people.
Ah, there it is. Comp plans absolutely shape how people act inside of an MLM. And this one, in my opinion, it's laser focused on pushing people to recruit fast, rank up fast, train others to recruit fast. This doesn't seem to be, in my opinion, about educating people on wellness or finding loyal customers. It seems like it's about climbing a rank ladder and dragging others up with you, or losing your bonuses if they quit. This structure forces you into leadership mode, whether you're qualified for it or not, which I think is what he's getting ready to talk about here in a second.
Once you find them, stick with them, help them find great people, and help run them both up through pacesetter. So that's the magic of the compensation plan. And what I like about it is that the reality is not everyone's going to go super fast. If you can go fast, you can make big, fast money, of course. But I like it because they actually pay you to stick with your people, even if it takes longer for someone to catch their stride. Maybe they don't have experience. And that's the awesome part. Whoever you introduce, you're connected in business together forever. Because if you tried some different home-based businesses, it was almost like get in first or you're last, go fast or you're left in the dust. What I like about here is that you're forever connected and you're financially incentivized in your leader's success.
It's the same way in other MLM companies, unless that person gets out of an MLM. I'd venture to say that part is probably the same in Melaleuca.
So that's the coolest part, is that if you reach one, it's each one, and everyone takes part in this philosophy of building a compensation plan. Now, no one gets left behind. This is how we've built such a robust, deep organization of success. So that was that little example of the pace setter bonus money, that 14,000. Whoever you introduce, however many people you introduce, they get the 14, you get the 14. What if you had 10 people that went senior director? Well, that'd be 140,000 in that program. And then also, hey, everyone that they introduce, you get a match on that as well. So super, super powerful. And just add 20% for our friends in Canada, and it's over 20,000 for our friends in Australia as well, according to your local currency. So that's just to senior director. Now, what about to executive director? Someone who wants to get to $180,000 a year. Now, our seniors tend to outperform at closer to 80,000, 100,000 a year, and our executives tend to outperform as well, more like 200,000 a year. So let's say we continue on and we go to executive director. What is that? 20 customers, same 20 customers, but now you need 10 leaders. We need 5 more. So we had 5, you senior. Now we need 10. At executive director, they're going to double your car bonus to $1,000 a month. Okay.
A car bonus. Weird. Do you think they have car bonuses when it's like referral marketing or affiliate marketing or what else do they call it? Sharing or something along those lines. Do they have car bonuses for those types of companies? No. No. They do in MLMs though. So
And that leadership bonus that we'll talk about here again goes to about $4,000 to $8,000 a month as well. So I always say there's good money at senior director, but it's life changing when you get to executive director. Okay, so let's say we do that in a year. Okay, so we're pretty aggressive. I did it in 4 months, but let's say we do it in a year. So we both make our
got to get that shameless plug, that brag. Hey, I did it in 4 months. You also probably brought people over from the previous company that you said that you were a part of. Yikes.
200,000. I made my 200K. My friend Sarah, she made her 200K. They paid me a $14,000 bonus when I helped her go to senior. She got the 14. She made the rest of her money, and they pay the enroller a bonus if you can help someone go from senior 2 all the way to executive director. There's 9 statuses at every level. They pay an additional $30,000 in bonuses after the 14. So these numbers are getting kind of crazy, but what someone is worth to you compensation wise, if you can take them from 0 to executive director, just on the check match mentoring bonus alone, is worth $45,000 in bonuses. Pretty powerful.
And how many people in the company are hitting that? What percentage of people in the company are actually hitting all of these bonuses? I bet it's not a lot, because that's typically how it happens in multi-level marketing companies.
And then everyone that they introduced, by the way, you got half when they went senior director, but when you help your personals as we call it, go to executive director, they pay you a full $30,000 match as if you enrolled them yourself. And that's when it gets crazy. But that's why
Crazy.
we've had monthly paychecks as high as 280,000, 290,000 in a month, which is crazy to say. We don't make that every
That is crazy to say, because what is the rest of your team making?
month, but that's because depends on the momentum in the business that ebbs and flows. Sometimes we'll have 4 or 5 people running, and then they'll have 1, 2, or 3 running along with them. So we're getting a little piece of the success together as we're working with our team, and we're getting matched all the way up to the top of executive director. So super powerful. I know these numbers sound almost unbelievable, but the only industry I'd really compare it with is maybe the insurance business, life insurance, where they pay a large amount of commissions for a very low premium, very low.
Not a false equivalence fallacy. Do insurance agents have to recruit other insurance agents and earn a bonus off of what they sell to customers? I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Sounds to me like that's a false equivalence fallacy, but I could be wrong.
Monthly spend, and that's because there's such a low cancellation rate in those industries, right? They can front load the commission. So Melaleuca is pretty wealthy as a company. That's a history lesson I got as I joined here. Melaleuca, I said, wow, Jeff, how can they afford to pay out this type of money? And that's because they've been debt free for now 40 plus years, super wealthy as a company, very conservative for 4 decades, that now they want to over reward. Pretty smart. They figured out a way how to overpay the top leaders so that way they keep on driving and developing new leadership, because this is.
Or, now this might be a hot take. I don't remember what this guy's name is. This could be a hot take. Maybe the reason they have so much money is because the distributors in the company are buying products every month. What did he say? 35 point products? I think he said it was like $75 to $80 or something like that a month before shipping tax.
This is a fun game, as you can imagine, once you kind of
Oh, this is fun. This is a fun game. I agree with you, but not for the reasons you're saying. But
figure out what you're doing, changing lives, working with your friends, and you're both getting generously compensated for just doing the same thing. So speaking of one of our generous compensations, so that's the upfront money. You can kind of see the advancement bonuses, the mentoring bonuses that we just kind of walked through.
aren't these like the top 4 ranks?
But this is pretty cool. This is one of the monthly bonuses. So I'll be real brief here. But now the same behavior and action of developing a director is kind of the main thing. So developing a director is helping, let's say, your neighbor refer 8 shoppers. Okay. Now they refer 8 shoppers. That new director typically makes 500 to $1,000. Okay. They referred 8 shoppers. Now we're all doing the same thing, but at my level, I'm a corporate director. So if I help my neighbor get the 8 shoppers and they made 500,000 bucks, they're going to pay me, and I have a couple things I got to go do. Enroll 2 to 4 a month. I got a high retention rate. You can kind of see some of those details. They're going to pay me at my level 6,000 a month for 3 months to keep working with my friend, even though maybe they're brand new. $18,000 for that 3 months. They go 8, 9, maybe they go to 10 customers. Now they go to what's called Director 3, which average Director 3 is about, and that was $11,000 a year. Okay, so the average person, that's going to be life changing for them. That's 11 and 1. So they refer 11 shoppers. One of them becomes a director, 2,500 in volume, and now up front they probably made about $4,000 to $5,000. They did that. Let's say it took them 4 months to do that. My friend, my neighbor, they made their 4 to 5 grand. Now they're going to pay me the second level 12,000 a month for 3 more months to keep working with my friend. Pretty powerful. I mean, over $54,000 in this little example. So now, if I'm a senior director, it's 1,000 to 2,000 a month. If you are what we call a director 3 to director 9, kind of just starting out, they pay that $250 to $500 a month just for enrolling 2 to 4 a month, right? And which is really, really cool, really generous. I mean, you take a look at these numbers right here just for doing what you're supposed to do. So I kind of coach you, hey, every 90 days, I want to make sure that I have someone brand new that I'm working with to get to director 3. And every month I just focus on, hey, who can I help of my personals, just move forward a step or two.
I love how he's making it sound like, oh, who can I help? The reason that he's helping these people is because he wants these bonuses. So he's looking at who's got the most activity, who's close to this rank. This isn't about helping that person. It's him making sure that he makes this bonus off of that person.
Just maybe one step at a time, just inch by inch, life's a cinch. So that's
Inch by inch, life's a cinch. Let me guess. Is that a Zig Ziglar quote? Come on. Inch by inch, life is a cinch. I should put that in a thumbnail or something.
really how we focus on it. So, man, our leaders have been really excited about this bonus alone. That because yeah, this is an extra $12,000 to $24,000 a year for the senior directors. We're an extra $48,000 to $96,000 a year, or with our national directors and above, that's an extra $72,000 to $144,000 a year just for doing what you're already doing anyway. So, really generous bonus. So, as
Before he gets into the ranks, so what I'm hearing him say is that they're stacking overrides on top of overrides. Excuse me. You recruit someone, they get a $14,000 bonus. You get a $14,000 bonus too. And when their recruit hits the same rank, you still get another payout. Tell me you're in an MLM without saying I'm in an MLM. In my opinion, this is textbook override behavior, and I'm not knocking people for getting paid. I'm just pointing out that this is exactly the kind of structure that relies on team growth, not customer demand.
we wrap it up here, guys, here's the answer to the test. You can take a screenshot of this. This is what I call the 5 steps, the 5 ranks. There's 52 statuses, mega complicated, but here's kind of your little cheat sheet. So step number 1, director, 8 customers. We've said this already. Step number 1, I call it 10 to win. We want to go 10 to win. I want you to make $1,000, not 500. Okay. Step number 2 is
10 customers to make $1,000.
what's called Director 3. Now, this is the driver of the compensation plan. Coming from my experience, every compensation plan has a driver that if you just focus on this and
The core rank. That's what he's talking about here. Now, listen, a company that's not an MLM using an MLM term, showing MLM ranks and MLM overrides, could it be this is an MLM? I think so. That's just my opinion, though. You let me know what you think in the comments. And before you Melaleuca people decide to come in and defend it, just know I will screenshot the comments. I will point out the fallacies that you are using. Especially, I know some of y'all like to use that ad hominem and come for my looks or whatever. Don't do it. I will embarrass you. I will.
blocked out all the noise of everything else, you just got excited and really world class at doing this and reproducing this, you'd make a fortune. So the average person, 11 customers, 1 personal director, and this has been proven from Melaleuca. The average person absolutely can do this. And what's the strategy? Well, I say 20 customers. We want to max it out, right? So let's say 10 more customers here. We want to get the 20 customers. We call it 2020 Club. That's the campaign around it. They pay a little bonus there too. But law of averages is 10%. So if you find 20 shoppers,
The law of averages. Now, listen, I don't want to hear about the law of averages. I want to hear the actual statistics from the company. Like, how many people are in the company are a director three? What percentage of people are a director three? How about senior director? How about executive director? I don't want to hear these funny catchphrase Pinterest quotes that you're throwing out inch by inch. Life is a cinch. Please stop. Please stop. Lead with the actual statistics and not the ones that you, in my opinion, were cherry picking at the beginning of this, where it's like, oh, this is what's possible. Okay, but show the rest of the income disclosure statement that talks about how many people are hitting that rank, how many people are making that income. That's important.
now we're going to find 1 to 2 leaders, 1 to 2 people with their hand raised that we can help them get to director. And now they're what we call a director three. And now that's the serious building block, a real solid brick that we can stack all up and we can teach that around the world. Now you can get to senior director. We just go run it again. So that's probably about 50 shoppers in a short amount of time. Maybe that's 3 to 6 months, we've kind of found.
That's probably okay. All right.
And you're going to find your 5, 6, 7 leaders from there. And we're going to focus on turning that from that foundation of 5, 6, or 7 into 20 directors in a group, because they don't show you volume in the back office. But what I learned from Jeff, my $30+ million tip, is every director you build the proper way should be worth about 1,000 points in volume. If we're leading with the products, we're helping them getting started the proper way, right? That's how it would really shake out. And so that's how we found, over and over and over through the test of time over the last, now coming up on 7 years, hey, if you do it the right way, use our system, obviously leading with the products and the opportunity the proper way.
Leading with the products and the opportunity. And again, I'm asking the question, leading with the opportunity. Do you hear that phrase in actual affiliate marketing? Because I don't think so. I think that you hear that in multi-level marketing companies.
You're going to find your 10, 12% of leaders to work with you all the way to executive director. Okay. So as we close out, here's a couple of fun stories that are just really exciting right now. Here's our friends, Sarah and Lindsay.
Why do we need more stories? He did the bare minimum, I feel like. In fact, I think I'm done with that. I don't want to hear more stories of what's possible. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's go over some of these numbers that he shared. Where's the risk? So he personally enrolled 180 customers. Only 22 of them became business builders. So let me do the math for you. That's a 12% builder conversion rate, which means 88% of his customers are either just shopping or dropped off entirely. And out of those 22 builders, only a handful became 6-figure earners. So ask yourself, what does it really take to succeed here? Do you have a massive network? Do you have the time to coach people through this comp plan? Oh, let me guess, he's just going to say, hey, just invite them to the next one and I'll do the work for you. Okay. Can you afford to stay active every month while hoping somebody in your downline hits their director goal? This isn't plug and play like, in my opinion, he wants you to think. This is called recruit and pray, again, in my opinion. And let's just be real. He keeps emphasizing real customers buying real products, but bonuses, car programs, mentoring payouts, and rank advancement, they're all based on team growth and monthly volume, not one-time customers. So listen, I'm not saying the products are bad. I'm not saying no one earns money. What I am saying is that this plan is built on constant recruitment and retention based off of what we saw, in my opinion. If someone stops buying every month, you lose volume, you lose rank, you lose your check, just like every other multi-level marketing company. So let's not pretend that this is a casual customer program. It's a recruitment engine, plain and simple. And these are my closing thoughts. If you took this comp plan, you stripped away the branding, you removed the product names, would it still look like a non-MLM business? Or would it look like a product-based multi-level marketing company with loyal points, minimums, override pay, and team rank bonuses? I'm not here to convince you, but I am here to ask, if it walks like an MLM and bonuses like an MLM, why are we pretending it's just smart shopping? So what do you guys think? Have you been pitched Melaleuca? Were you told it's not an MLM? Did the comp plan sound this convoluted when you heard it? Tell me your wildest Melaleuca stories in the comments. Bonus points if it involves someone telling you you only need 8 shoppers to build a 6-figure business. And please don't forget to like and subscribe, because I do love reading comp plans and pointing out the fine print that nobody wants to talk about. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you on the next video.